Section 4 is talking about persuasive messages now that we are living in the digital age. And now technology has kind of changed the way organizations work, and the employees no longer have to wait for the manager to provide the information because of companies' digital resources such as their intranets. And now it's more of we work as a team and not as much as the manager telling the employees what to do or giving the employees the information. To reduce churn is turnover, many workplaces are adopting this more open and egalitarian organizational structure that I was just talking about. And this shift is affecting the way that we write and the tone of workplace messages. Today's executives are increasingly banking on persuasion to achieve buy-in from all employees. So let's talk about persuading employees when the message is flowing downward from the supervisor to the subordinates. It usually requires little persuasion. This could be messages about procedures, customer service. We're going to use the direct strategy here because we want to give the purpose immediately, the information about these procedures, etc. If employees are asked to participate in capacities outside their work roles, we want to follow the writing plan that we talked about earlier. This would be a helpful structure. Again, we're talking about from supervisors to, communicating to subordinates. Remember, pay attention to the tone. Wording is everything. And use a conversational tone here with a caring attitude. Present honest, accurate evidence. You want to present a strong argument, but you want it to be honest, and you want it to emphasize the points that are important to the receiver. As far as messages flowing upward, we want to provide facts, figures, and evidence, especially if you're submitting a recommendation to your boss. And your request should emphasize how the proposal saves money or how it will benefit the business. So this is going to be more persuasive if you can do that instead of just announcing a good deal or explaining how a plan works. This is how this will benefit the business. This is how this will save the business money. And also pay attention to the tone. Okay, so if you're communicating to your boss, you would want to say something like we suggest or we recommend. Don't say you must or we should. Don't sound pushy or argumentative. And you still want to strive for a conversational tone, but you want to stay professional. And you want your message to convey warmth, confidence, and competence. So here's a fill in the blank knowledge check if you want to pause this and try to answer these questions, and when you're ready to check it, press play to hear the answers. The answer to number 1 is reactants. The answer to number 2 is spam. The answer to number 3 is churn. And the answer to number 4 is tone. In section 5, we're going to talk about creating effective sales messages in print and online. And I noticed that in this knowledge check, it mentioned spam, but we're really not talking about it until section 5. But I think most of us know what spam is. The best sales messages are going to use persuasion to promote either the product or the service, sales letters, physical mail pieces that you get in the mail, such as postcards, flyers, self-mailers. You know what all of these are. This is direct mail. And it says that, this is interesting, neuroscience-based studies show that physical direct mail appears to have a greater emotional impact than digital ad content. And I believe that. I also see how excited my kids get when they get a birthday card in the mail or get any kind of mail. It's kind of more of exciting, and it's a physical piece of paper that you can hold in your hand and look at. Whereas digital, we usually ignore it. So, with that being said, spam is when we receive unwanted, promotional, or unsolicited emails. So let's talk about the professionals that specialize in direct mail campaigns. What they do is they analyze the market, and then they come up with an effective mailing list of who they think would buy their product or buy into what they're selling. They study the product and prepare a sophisticated campaign aimed at a target audience. So you're not just sending it out to everybody. You have a target audience that you're sending this to. And they motivate the reader to act. And this figure really shows the features of traditional direct mail and the features of e-commerce, email, social media messages. So look over that. I think this is a really good visual of these two. And direct mail is sometimes called junk mail. And it says that 79% of consumers act on direct mail immediately, and whereas only 45% deal with email right away. So that's interesting. And then it talks about a process called synergy retargeting. And this is the act of targeting, again, consumers who have previously visited a brand's website using tracking technology that matches the website visitors to their name and postal address. The most effective messages follow the classic indirect strategy known by the acronym AIDA. Gain attention, build interest, elicit desire, and reduce resistance, motivate action. So here is the strategy and what the content should be and what section. So the attention's in the opening, interest is in the body, desire is in the body, and then action is in the closing. So one of the most critical elements of a sales message is the opening paragraph. So one thing to remember is this opener should be short, 1 to 5 lines, honest, relevant, and stimulating. And here are some ways to gain attention. And we talked about some of these already. Asking a question is one way, but there are others listed here. Then your body should build interest. So describe central selling points. Make a rational appeal, which is a persuasive technique that appeals to reason and intellect. Make emotional appeals. And this is a persuasive technique that is related to status, ego, and sensual feelings. Combine emotional and rational strategies to create a dual appeal. This is a way to use a combination of emotional and rational strategies. Identify features. These are characteristics of the product or service. To be effective, this must be translated by marketers into warm feelings and reader benefits. And benefits, to describe benefits by explaining how the audience can use your product. So to elicit desire, you would want to use testimonials, include free samples, and all of these listed. In the body, you want to also reduce resistance. So don't mention price until after you've created a desire for the product. You want to show the price in small units, such as price per issue of a magazine. Show how it can save money if they subscribe for 2 or 3 years. And also compare your prices with those of a competitor. Closing is where you want to motivate action. You can offer a gift. You'll receive a free iPad mini with the purchase of any new car. Promise an incentive. With every new paid subscription, we'll plant a tree in one of America's heritage forests. Limit the offer. Call now. The first 100 customers receive free travel mugs. Set a deadline. You must act before June 1st to take advantage of these low prices. Guarantee satisfaction. We'll return your full payment if you're not entirely satisfied. These are just some examples to use. Then, although it's more expensive than email, direct mail sales letters is the number 2 preferred marketing medium because it's more personalized, it's directed to a very specific target market, and it's filled with a more complete message than other advertising media can. So here's a model document. In the opening, it addresses common fear and gains attention. You can see here that it builds interest, and then it emphasizes central selling points and reader benefits. Here it elicits desire and reduces resistance. Then down here it motivates action. It repeats the central sales pitch in the last 2 paragraphs, and then free offer in the PS to prompt immediate reply. And the last part is about email sales messages. This is a way to attract new customers, keep existing ones. E-marketers can create and send a promotion in half the time it takes to print and distribute a traditional message. So it's a lot quicker and more efficient. So before sending a sales message, analyze the purpose by knowing what you want to achieve and adapt to the audience to make your message heard. Consider these questions that receivers will very likely be asking themselves. Why should I? What's in it for me? What's in it for you? Who cares? So you want to create a catchy subject line. You want to place the main information within the first screen. Keep the message short, conversational, and focused. Sprinkle testimonies throughout, and provide a means for opting out. And there's a model document in your book that you can look at for this on your own time. And writing short messages online, writers are turning to social media more to promote their business. Also, tweets can be used. And then organizations and individuals with followers post updates to events through social media. In persuasive tweets and posts, writers try to pitch offers, prompt specific responses, or just draw attention of their audience to interest, events, sales, and media links.